So you're in the market for a new pair of retros, you've decided you want to get a pair of Jordans, but you've also decided you don't want your feet, knees, and lower back to ache all day, every day as a result of wearing those Jordans. So in this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 favorites for foot, knee, and lower back health, ones that your body will not regret buying a day later. Let's get into it. And coming in at number 5, ironically, is the Jordan 5. Now the Jordan 5 and the Jordan 4 are actually very similar underneath the hood. It's what's in the uppers of the shoe that make the Jordan 5, I think, a little better than the 4 and brings them on this list. Number 1, the tongue's actually pretty beefy, so you're not gonna get a lot of lace irritation. Very comfortable in terms of first step entry. Also, the ankle collar is a lot more robust, a lot more padding. I've had a lot of people in the 4s actually tell me that not just the tab, but just the collar itself on the 4s can start to rub them the wrong way, whereas on the 5s, I get much less of those complaints in my office. Now in the rear foot, you have visible air, and the forefoot, you have air sole, and then it's mainly just polyurethane foam otherwise. And the thing is, these shoes are high volume enough, most retro Jordans are high volume enough to be able to get an orthotic in these things, but you do get the forgiveness of the visible air as well as the air sole. It's not the most forgiving thing on the planet, but in terms of a retro, it's leagues better than a lot of them. All right, so coming in at number 4, this one definitely has some caveats you're gonna wanna pay attention to, pros and cons you're gonna wanna match up to what you wanna use the shoe for. And that is the Air Jordan 10. Now the reason I like these so much, top-loaded air sole, and then you've got actually Nike Phylon. This shoe back in the day, in the mid-90s, was actually really incredible for switching from polyurethane foams going into Nike Phylon. So really just the entire experience of the shoe is very, very comfortable. Now it also has a flat tread profile. Now this is going to be an ice skate. If you're wearing these on like slick streets, slick asphalt, or if you're using these casually, let's say, you know, in my hometown of Pittsburgh, where the streets are like this steep, if you're trying to go down there and a little slick, this thing's gonna be an ice skate. So just make sure if you're wearing them casually, you watch out for that. The uppers of these are incredibly comfortable, and because it has elastic going across, you can leave the laces a little bit looser and the shoe is not gonna lose all of its containment on you, especially wearing them casually. So Air Jordan 10, one of my favorites, especially for casual wear. Like I said, watch out for the outsole tread. Now let's say you don't like any of the shoes on this list, you have just a strong personal connection to a certain shoe that just so happens to torment your knees or lower back or feet, or say you want to jump on the trend of wearing soccer boots around, because I've seen that pop up more and more. If you want to do that, I've also got you covered. I have a comprehensive ebook on how to customize just about any shoe you put on your foot to increase the comfort, increase the performance, or just customize the fit to your particular needs. If you want to check that out, I'll leave it linked in the description below. Now coming in at number 3, this shoe, the retro, to me much more comfortable than the original, and its break-in profile is one of the most buttery and comfortable shoes once you get them broken in, and that is the Air Jordan 2. Now these ones with the retro have the full length air sole versus the original. Also the foam on the retro is a little bit more forgiving, at least in my opinion. Now, these also have a super beefy tongue, so really comfortable, no lace irritation. They fit orthotics just fantastically, especially for, you know, shoe with more of a mid-top. They don't look very high volume when you're looking at them online. In person though, in terms of getting even a bulky orthotic into these things, they're absolutely fantastic. To me, the traction is better than the 10s on these. Still full length, but if you're on slick streets or whatever, say it's snowing outside or something like that, I know, you know, a lot of people would not dare wear these on snow-covered roads, but if you're wearing your shoes, right, snowing outside, you live in a snowy climate, and these are your shoes, you're gonna wear them, and shoes, you know, are meant to be used. So I just think that they just have a little bit better of a traction profile, just overall ride experience versus the 10s. To me, I think in terms of just overall step in comfort, these are like my favorite Jordan. Maybe not so much the best in terms of structure, but in terms of just pure what my foot feels on the bottom, you know, what bottom of foot feel is, these are my favorite. All right, now coming in at number 2, not only do I think it's just a fantastic casual shoe, a retro shoe, I think it's also still one of the best performing Jordans on the market, and that is the Air Jordan 13. Now these ones have a molded shank that's bottom loaded, so it gives you structure, support, it'll hold an orthotic fine, but also the shoe gives enough support on its own. It has rear foot and forefoot top-loaded zoom, and then it's got EVA foam, you know, Phylon on the bottom. So all in all, you know, this is just as good as anything you'll see now. So you're kind of getting a performance midsole with a lot of the comfort aspects of a retro, and you can get some of the more premium materials of a retro. Plus, so many cool Easter eggs in the shoe in terms of the design as well. And so, to me, yeah, the number 2 and number 1 shoes, there's very little between them, but the Air Jordan 13, just all around, it's just such a good shoe, even by today's standards. Before I get to the number 1 shoe, I do want to make an honorable mention for people that like a certain feel underfoot, and that is the Air Jordan 12. Now, the reason that didn't get into the top 5 is it's a lot of carbon fiber in these, and for a lot of people, it's just gonna be too stiff. Now, there is top-loaded Zoom Strobel, so you're gonna get that nice tension bounce house feeling over top of it, and it is molded, so you are gonna get a lot of support. And for a lot of people, they're gonna love that. And if you throw a little bit more of a forgiving orthotic in there, think more of a foam type, almost like diabetic insert, power step bridge type insert, something a little more flexible, but a lot more cushion, then this is gonna be really, really great. I think without an orthotic in this, I think over time, it just might be a little bit too stiff for some people. But if you like that feeling of tension and ultra support underfoot, then the 12s definitely would be something you'd want to look into. All right, and coming in at number 1, let me know if you guessed it in the comments down below. That one is the Air Jordan 11. Reason being, you got top-loaded Air Strobel, so a ton of forgiveness. Then the foam, then the bottom-loaded molded shank. Now, the reason I like these a little bit more is because these don't have just one solid slab of carbon fiber going throughout the shoe. There's some break points in there. It flexes really, really nice. Plus your foot is not standing directly on top of it, but it does have enough molding in it to where the shoe gives enough support on its own. Yes, it fits orthotics fantastic, but on its own, it gives enough support there. The traction is just fine, tread is just fine no matter what you're doing on it. The uppers have a ton of padding in the tongue, the ankle collar on these things, really nice and comfortable. They break in so nice in the uppers. And a lot of the colorways on these feature a little bit more premium materials, a little bit more durable materials as well. Plus, like I said, the 13s, if you want to go play in them too, then that's just fine too. I mean, they're just as good on a court versus off the court. And like I said, this video isn't just about what feels best, like directly on foot. You step into the shoe, what does it feel like? Then yeah, the 2s would have been my favorite, but it's overall what is gonna save your foot in the long run? What is not gonna make your lower back hurt after wearing these for a whole day? So hope you enjoyed the list. If you wanna see other brands retros and which ones I think are the safest from a foot doctor perspective, let me know which brands you want to see down below. If it's Nike, if it's Puma, Adidas, New Balance, Asics, whatever, let me know in the comments down below. And if you do want to see all of the Jordan line get cut open from 1 all the way up to my rendition of the 40, an entire mega teardown, make sure you click into this video up above, find some crazy things out about the line along the way, especially when you see them all sequentially. It really does paint a different picture versus just seeing them individually. So make sure you click into this video right here, subscribe down below. I'll see you in that video.